millions of inhabitants of the ballet world, dancers, teachers, choreographers, artistic directors, parents, healthcare providers, who told me stories that demonstrated just how badly ballet needs to be saved from itself. What I found was an ecosystem in crisis, made fragile and brittle by years of inequality and rendered dysfunctional by sexism, racism, elitism, and a stubborn disregard for the physical and mental well-being of the dancers who make the art form possible. I interviewed a gifted gender non-conforming dancer who was pushed out of ballet because their teachers refused to imagine what the art form might look like without its rigid gender binary. I interviewed a Black ballet mom whose biracial daughter was subject to racist treatment at the hands of a white ballet mom. A professional dancer who injured himself on stage and continued performing through excruciating pain because his company did not offer adequate health insurance and he could not afford to miss a show. A dancer who was kept off stage because she wasn't thin enough for her artistic director's taste. And an artistic director who described firing dancers for being out of shape. A Black choreographer who watched his white classmates get handed opportunities he was denied despite his comparable talent and potential. A former elite ballet student who remembered the creepy requests her teachers had made of her and her teenage classmates. And another former elite ballet student who sued one of the world's most revered ballet institutions for creating what she called a fraternity-like atmosphere, a fertile environment for sexualized abuse of women by men. Each of these stories suggested that some essential part of the ballet world was breaking down. Together, they revealed that the ecosystem was perhaps already broken, and that in turn, it was breaking people. Inhabitants of the American ballet world, people who loved ballet and needed it to love them back, warned me that unless something changed, unless ballet's gatekeepers could radically reimagine what the art form could be and who it could serve, it would die. Death by irrelevance. Death by inaccessibility. Death by excluding the very dancers and creators and audience members who could keep it alive and carry it into the future. For some observers, the die-off might have been difficult to detect. But the more marginalized members of the ballet world, made prophetic by their exclusion, could see it happening. They could feel it. It was a slow-motion extinction happening one ballet dancer and one ballet dream at a time. And then, the flood came. By April 2020, just a few months after I finished the bulk of the reporting for this book, the coronavirus pandemic had swept over the ballet world, wiping away familiar structures and leaving others in a desperate state. Theaters and dance studios sat empty, spring recitals were called off, emerging choreographers had their debuts postponed, and retiring dancers had their farewell performances canceled. Ballet schools pivoted to Zoom classes and then to drastically reduced class sizes, and students staged digital performances and recorded video competition entries. Ballet companies pivoted to digital offerings, emergency fund appeals, and dance pods after canceling their spring seasons. Around the country, professional ballet dancers kept dancing as best they could in their cramped apartments, using kitchen counters and balcony railings as makeshift bars as they tried to stay in shape through furloughs. Footage of dancers making do in their homes went viral, supposedly inspirational videos of dancers jumping on shin-splint-inducing hardwood floors and attempting grand battements in their living rooms as their confused cats dodged their swinging legs. Some dancers had company contracts to go back to, but no idea when they'd be able to go back to them. Others were still employed, but were barely being paid. Still others saw their freelance dance performance opportunities disappear overnight, but remained hopeful that the second half of the year could be salvaged. By May, it was clear.